All right. Can you guys are we back? You guys should be able to see me now. Vanquish, how you doing, bro? Thanks for the first time chat. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I can only apologize, guys. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Like, no idea what is going on. I do know that it's annoying. I'm aware of that. Um let's just watch this and then I'll quickly look for something else. Because I think there's a way that we may be able to fix it. Not sure, but we'll do it after this.
Intact for us when we eventually get our hands on Alpha 2 in 2077. However, I will admit, during this livestream in particular, the way they presented the whole archetype showcase was very disappointing, and it felt like they only had a loose plan and just went with it, getting it immersed and completely forgetting to touch on some.
I will be honest with you, I think that the Ash of Creation devs need to stop putting out monthly live streams. That would be my personal opinion. The thing is, I kind of feel like they have already destroyed their hype. That's my personal opinion. I feel like, you see, hype is difficult because when it comes to hype, you basically want to ride the hype train. You want to create hype so that, this is a new thing, the thing is coming, people are hyped. And then you want to let the hype die. And then just before launch is when you sort of push the hype again. So you want to you want to then get people into it and get people more interested in it. This, as far as I'm concerned, is the wrong thing to do because they're trying monthly, and I realize that they're trying to give feedback so that people can see how the game is coming along. You don't make enough changes in a month to really, I think, make a difference. Not a noticeable difference, anyways. I mean, the world is beautiful, but the world has been beautiful since like 4 live streams ago. Nothing much has changed here. They keep showing changes. I would argue make one big live stream now and then do it maybe once every 6 months. Come back with another live stream. This monthly live stream bullshit, I genuinely believe it's going to ruin this game before it comes out. Because I'm at a point now where when Ash of Creation was first announced, I was super hyped for it. I have no hype for this game. My hype is dead, and it's just sort of there. This is just a game. It's fine. It's going to come out maybe at some point. It's still very, very far off actually releasing. So what's the point? They keep putting out this shit, and I just don't care anymore. So I would almost guarantee they have to just stop, calm down, let people sort of take a break from Ash of Creation, and then do a massive live stream once you've made sweeping changes to showcase all of the changes that you've made and how far you've come and all the rest of it. But I don't think this is the way.
Some core, very important points of the showcase, starting with the tooltips. There's a very specific reason I didn't bring them up in my breakdown video because, well, I simply couldn't be asked to go through the whole clip to find the random off chances that Steven just so happened to hover over the skills themselves. And this is one of the very first changes to this new presentation. Steven actually took the time to go through the new skills one by one and discuss them in detail with the developers present. And I will reiterate all of this in detail during our tank feedback video. To be honest,
see, the other thing is a huge part of a new game is discovery. It's about discovering these new abilities and discovering all of these cool things that your class can do. When the developers go through all of the new things every month, it ruins the discovery of it, right? All of that discovery, all of that, oh shit, I just got a new talent. What does this do? What is this ability? How does it work? All of that's gone because, well, I've already been told. They're basically ruining the game before it's even come out.
This video was supposed to be that, but I simply couldn't resist milking this mild drama with over-dramatic titles and clickbait. I did enjoy the new structure of the showcase, the way he started off with the shield and mace instead of looting it towards the end, and I thought Steven adjusted his gameplay to properly represent threat, crowd control, and defenses. However, I mainly noticed in November, really, that people continue to treat the
Cyberjunkie, this is
showcases as
Ashes
though
of
they are
Creation.
some sort of finished product and represent the game in its finished state, forgetting that this is a demonstration of unfinished classes at low level in an unfinished zone against unfinished mobs using unfinished abilities. The game is still years away, and you're gonna have to get over that. We want Ashes of Creation to be made correctly, and that is going to take time. If it doesn't,
Yes, but this is exactly where you have to stop putting out content the whole time. You have to stop doing these monthly live streams and let people forget about your game. It's fine. People know the game exists now, but now it's time for them to forget about it. Put in the work, put in the effort, come back when you have real things to show. When you have a massive amount of content, do a 5 or 6 hour live stream where you show everyone the new stuff that you've just implemented in the game, how far the game has come. Manage the hype train a lot better, because right now the hype train, as far as I'm concerned, they've ridden the hype train for so long that the hype is just dying. I have no hype for this game. Do I want to play it? Sure, I'll still play it, but only because it's my job. If I was a normal player, I would probably just all day 4 out of this game, if I'm honest with you.
you end up with the same mistakes our currently popular MMOs ended up with, and the reason you probably don't enjoy them. Broken, unfinished content that dies within a month of release. So, today's video is twofold, really. I of course wanted to give you guys my opinion that nobody asked for on the quality of the last showcase, but I also want to get something off my chest. Because the negativity surrounding this game is getting louder and louder, making all social media outlets a complete toxic cesspit. You're either shut down for asking simple questions by boomers who've been following this game for 6 years already, or you see mockery for the game never being released and demanding it be made faster. And if I'm honest with you, friends, it's really getting on my tits. It's very much worth mentioning that they aren't just developing one thing at a time here. These presentations are seeing the game as a whole come to life before our eyes. The systems that existed in Alpha 1 were ripped out, refractured, and re-implemented for Alpha 2, and the live streams over the last 4 or 5 months have shown this very clearly. Starting with the damage numbers and an explanation of how customizable they are in the Melee showcase, we saw a few basic UI elements in the Ranger showcase, giving us a peek at the targeting UI, spell bar, and minimap. That was followed up by how we interact with some gatherables in the world during the Gathering showcase. The Night Cycle, class mechanics, and combo debuff system came online during November's livestream, and now we finally got a glimpse of the in-game world map.
Dude, they may as well just not release this game and just, once it's finished, have the developers play the whole game from start to finish and have people watch it as a movie. They're spoiling everything. I get that you want to give back to the community, but you're spoiling the fucking game. It's being spoiled. I don't need to know any of this. Do these updates for your supporters. So the people that actually paid money during the early development, do these updates for them. Don't do it for the rest of the community. Let them experience it when it comes out. Right? Let them be the first to see how the gathering works and how the numbers can be customized and, how the classes function. This is just nonsense.
Inventory, trading.
And you want to know, like he says, things are getting more and more negative. There is a reason for it. The hype is dying. And so what ends up happening after the hype dies? Negativity sets in. That's always going to happen. When people have seen this game month in, month out for literal years now. I remember making my first video on Ashes of Creation, I think almost 4 years ago today. It's been 4 years. And for 4 years, this company has released gameplay updates basically almost monthly, bi-monthly at this point. Of course, people are now at a point where they're gonna start getting negative because this game isn't coming. It was originally, just to be fair, promised to release in 2023. That obviously isn't gonna happen. So why would people not get angry?
And looting systems, as well as a very small tease of some itemization, as they did confirm they finished the stat refracture very recently too. This is what open development is, and the way they presented the livestream this month, starting off with some basic gear, then going through the elite area, looting equipment off the bosses, existed for a very specific reason, to show that the looting and itemization mechanics were online and functional. This is a massive step in progress that everyone seems to be sweeping under the rug here. Every month, this game is looking more and more alive and playable, and if you think Alpha 2 isn't coming this year, well, you're probably right. But that doesn't change the fact that these systems are coming online at a rapid pace. I feel like there's a constant need to remind everyone that this is an open development game by an indie developer. These showcases we see are made by passionate people trying to make the correct choices based off our feedback. They simply don't have the experience or budget the soulless corporate publishers have been utilizing over the last 10 years of NPC assimilation, and I don't even want that. This is why Ashes of Creation is different. Stephen, Margaret, the developers within the showcases themselves actually sound human, you know? The recent Elder Scrolls Online reveal with Apocrypha, I don't know, I forget the name because it's so forgettable, was a laughable display of corporate shilling. Watching their lifeless, soulless attempts to speak to us as players was borderline embarrassing to anyone with
because they're not players. I mean, this is exactly, oh my god, this takes me back. Do you guys remember when Blizzard announced Dragonflight, when they did all those developer conversations where the developers sit around a table and try to act normal while reading an obvious script? Yeah, because the developers have lost touch. It would be so much better. That's true. I can't fault him for saying this. The developers have lost the ability to just reach out to the community. This is the one part where I think Yoshi P from Final Fantasy, where I think Final Fantasy still does it right. Yoshi P gets on a live stream, 6 hours long, and he basically discusses everything about the new expansion coming. And you can see that there's no script. He just knows the game, right? Because he made it. So he knows exactly what's going on there. He knows exactly what's coming. And he can answer questions from the community. He can read chat. He can see what's going on. Obviously, that is the way you want to do it. These guys, yeah, some guy, like some high-level executive in marketing told them, hey, you know what players really want? They want you to talk to them. But we're still going to script it to make sure that you say everything that we want you to say, because all those talking points need to be there. So we'll script it, and you just have to look natural. Here's your problem. These guys are not actors. They've never been actors. So delivering a script and sounding normal is harder than you think.
Points to rub together, and if this constant hate towards Intrepid's presentation continues, you will be pushing them down this route.
Yes, give us your money, piggies.
Our response to the live streams are what shape the future of their presentations, because Intrepid obviously want to improve and do the best they can, but this isn't the way. Bringing up concerns with the tank showcase was the right thing to do. However,
Sebi, how you doing? Yeah, I mean, I, same as you, studied acting, and I can tell you it makes a massive difference. Even if you wrote the script, you wrote the script sounding as normal as possible in your own speaking voice. Once you read the script, it changes. It's a skill, and it's a skill that only actors have. You're not going to teach a developer to sound normal whilst reading a script. That's just not going to happen.
Seeing all social media platforms completely burst into flames, full of nothing but hate and mockery, is not what this project is about. It's okay that Ashes of Creation isn't for you. This isn't an action combat, high skill cap MMO. You have action combat MMOs already, and they're dog shit. That's why you're following Ashes of Creation. This isn't a PvE instanced MMO with zero challenge or social aspects. You have Looking for Group already, and it's dog shit. That's why you're following Ashes of Creation. This isn't a safe space, non-PvP open world that keeps you playing with daily gated content and participation rewards. You have that already. And guess what? It's dog
True,
shit.
Sebi.
That's why you're following Ashes of Creation. Let the developers who know what they're doing do their job. You need to stop pushing your preferences onto this game. Feedback is okay, obviously. I have my opinions on active blocking. I have my opinions on action combat, backed up by proof through history, I might add. But this influx of hate that's been attacking the project ever since October last year, since all that PvP drama happened, has pushed my patience over the edge. What you're trying to do is change the game's core philosophies. You're trying to make it the same as all the corporate garbage we have on the market already. Most of you have no frame of reference when it comes to what makes an MMO good, because I don't believe anyone who thinks New World, Dragonflight, Final Fantasy XIV, or Lost Ark is good even understands the point of.
I would argue, what? Dragonflight is good. It is. For what it is, and for the game that it represents, it's good. Let me just hear that again. What?
Trying to make it the same as all the corporate garbage we have on the market already. Most of you have no frame of reference when it comes to what makes an MMO good, because I don't believe anyone who thinks New World, Dragonflight, Final Fantasy XIV, or Lost Ark is good even understands the point of gaming, let alone an.
What a strange sentiment. Normally, I like this guy, but this is such a miserable take. Such a miserable take. The point of gaming, dear sir, is subjective. That literally is the point. It's subjective. One person likes one game, another person likes a different game, and it doesn't fucking matter. Because at the end of the day, it's all games. And not all games are going to appeal to all people, and that's perfectly fine. But to say that anyone that thinks that Dragonflight or Final Fantasy XIV is good doesn't even understand the point of gaming is misdirected. And I think you are the one that doesn't understand the point of gaming. Because games are not just one thing. Games can be many things. Dragonflight, for what it is a return to the origins of World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft being the underlying game, it's well within the measurements of good. When the game goes back to its roots, that is considered to be good, because that's when the game was at its peak. Final Fantasy XIV is good because many people love that style of gameplay, love that style of story. Your argument only really works for a subset of the gaming community that happens to not like those games, and that happen to like games like Ashes of Creation, and that is perfectly fine. But the way you just expressed yourself there, it's incredibly divisive with no point or purpose.
An MMO. This genre is dying. No MMO is growing. They stagnated 10 years ago, and
I don't think that they have stagnated, because I think if you look at Final Fantasy XIV, it is growing. It is doing very well, because it's doing what it's doing, and it's doing it well. But I do think that there is a general decline in MMOs overall, but I think that was because games like World of Warcraft tried to become something that it was never meant to be. And I don't think, if this guy is trying to make the point that Ashes of Creation is going to save it, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Have been bleeding players out the wazoo for years. 14 didn't grow, players just moved from World of Warcraft over to it. The only
Not
MMO
true.
as of late that actually marketed towards a new audience is New World, because Amazon put the money into marketing to the normies, and look how that ended up. If New World is
Yeah, but Final Fantasy is not a stream game. We should also remember that, Sebi. Final Fantasy has never, nor will it ever be, a good stream game. It sort of started getting its own race to world first, and that's a big deal for it. But if you look at the overall, like, Final Fantasy is a great playing game, it's not a great stream game. It just doesn't have the hooks that World of Warcraft has when it comes to, things like Mythic Plus, things like arenas, things like battlegrounds, right? These are things that people like watching because they're incredibly interactive and they do it themselves and they learn how to do it. Final Fantasy doesn't have any of these hooks, and so obviously a lot of people aren't going to play it. I don't necessarily agree that MMOs don't bring in new players. It's true that a lot of MMOs have sort of stagnated, but I genuinely think there is a sort of renaissance, but again, I'm trying to figure out if he's going to say that something like Ash of Creation are going to bring in a whole new swath of people.
over to it. The only MMO as of late that actually marketed towards a new audience is New World, because Amazon put the money into marketing to the normies, and look how that ended up. If New World is sitting at 30k players and our top MMOs only have 200k or 300k players, where are the 12 million players that WoW had back at the peak of Wrath of the Lich King? That's why monetization has transitioned to exploiting us as consumers with pay-to-win and convenience, because the suits need to make up for the loss of players by replacing actual well-made gameplay with more and more egregious ways to increase revenue to show proof of profit to their shareholders. They don't care about the game or us as players, they care about profit. The Dragonflight and Elder Scrolls Online announcements were a complete joke in terms of presentation, soulless and appealing to players who want to be monetized, not players who want a genuine, well-made, massively multiplayer world. Just a chore simulator so they can log in daily and be told they're doing a good job with achievement pop-ups and free epics. My comment feed ever since October has been nothing but garbage, and I'm sick of seeing it. Dog shit takes like tab targeting sucks despite literal proof showing otherwise, takes like the graphics look like something from 10 years ago even though it's utilizing the newest graphical technology on the market right now, and that this project is still a scam despite the progress they've made over the last year. How can a project that is putting time and effort into abilities affecting the grass be a scam, for fuck's sake? Get a grip. Ashes of Creation is our chance to finally have a real open.
No. Okay, so he is making the point that I thought he was going to make. Ashes of Creation is not going to rule the MMO scene. I want to make that so goddamn clear to all of the people on massive amounts of copium. Ashes of Creation is a return to the hardcore days of MMOs. May I explain to you what happened to those MMOs? They got killed fundamentally by World of Warcraft. Why? Because World of Warcraft was the first MMO that came out and said, okay, what if we don't punish you for dying so you don't lose XP? What if we do not make you grind for days on end to get a single level because there's no quests around for you to actually get that level? World of Warcraft killed those games. You want to know why? Because those games was good when they first came out, because it was the first time someone had the ability to actually hang out with a bunch of people in a shared world. That is old now. Am I saying that Ash of Creation won't have any players? No, it will have players. But in Stephen Sharif's own words, they're expecting it to be an incredibly niche game. Because hardcore MMOs don't really attract massive swaths of the community. Why? Because they're fucking hardcore. They're difficult. They take hours upon hours, if not days to actually get stuff done, and your downsides to dying is usually criminal. So people don't want to die, people don't want to struggle, people don't want to suffer, because dying actually means you're going backwards in the game. You're losing loot. You might be losing XP, although I don't think they have negative XP, which is actually one of the good things. But I don't think anyone that thinks that Asset Creation is going to be the king of MMOs is fucking high. You have overdosed on copium. It's not going to be a bad game. It's going to be a very good game, but it is going to be for a very small group within the community.
World next generation MMORPG that's genuinely offering that escapism World of Warcraft gave us back in 2004, back when games were made with passion. This is Intrepid's goal. This is Steven's vision. So for Christ's sake, let them do their thing and give feedback on what you saw, not what you personally want. But as usual, I am just one nerd desperate for a good MMO, and my opinion means nothing. Else in the comments below. And hey, I went a bit off the rails there, but that vocal minority growing louder and louder, forcing Intrepid to take action for the first time in history, is putting this game on a slippery slope that will end up very corporate and soulless if it continues being pushed. As always, I want to thank my patrons. You guys are the positive comments that I tend to ignore, and without your support, this balding, middle-aged man wouldn't be able to live his dream of talking shit on the internet. If you made it to the end of the video, surely it's worth giving it a like, and if you're not one of the 80% who haven't already, want to go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, because you're high on copium.
See, I don't half of the stuff he said here is fine, but like so many others, they see a problem, they speak to the problem, but they don't address the underlying reason for the problem. The problem is that people are being overly negative, and he's saying to people, stop being overly negative, because you're going to force these guys to become more corporate so that you guys can stop being more negative. Why are people being more negative? Well, that's actually fairly simple. You keep putting out monthly fucking stream updates on a game that is still years away from literal release. Of course, people are going to get angry. You can only promise someone something for so long before their hopium and their copium and their hype turn into literal disdain for the thing that you've made. That's always going to be the case. If Intrepid Studio wants to stop this level of negativity in their content, they stop putting out monthly fucking updates. We don't need monthly updates. You can do once every 6 months, once every year. Give a massive, giant update on everything that's happening so that people actually see massive changes. Because the other problem is people have biases. If the changes are relatively small from one stream to the next, it looks like nothing is actually happening. But can you imagine if you did once every 6 months or once every year, and what you showcased was incredible changes to the game? That shit is going to stand out to people. People are going to watch that shit and be like, holy crap, look how far we've come. I'm so excited to get my hands on this game. It's got nothing to do with the community. The community will always act the way that the community acts. That's just human nature. No matter what company it is, no matter what game you're making, if you're taking too long to actually get that game into the hands of people, they're gonna get annoyed and they're gonna stop fucking playing. It's as simple as that. They're gonna stop buying into the bullshit. I hate when people completely miss the point. But anyways, I quickly wanted to look for something here. It's a video. I'm not sure if that video is even still on the internet. Is it this guy? It might be this guy, actually. Let's just see. Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Matt. I'm a full-time streamer from South Africa. This is my first and probably my last YouTube video, to be honest. Not really my thing, but this is a topic that I see come up really often in my stream. Guys always ask me, how do you stream to Twitch? I'm always struggling.
The reason I'm watching this is we obviously have some internet problems, and I remember doing this a while ago, and it actually worked. Here's a part 2. Hold up. We'll check out the part 2 in a minute.
But when I try and stream to Twitch, I just have constant issues. So I want to show you the steps that I took to correct it, and how I've helped a few guys live on stream and actually just like off stream as well get their stuff set up. It's a question that keeps getting asked of me.
So give me how you're doing.
I just wanted to put a YouTube video
I have no
so
idea
people can
how long
know,
ago it started.
Then I can just reference them to the video. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not going to edit this shit. I'm just going to go through it step by step. It's not going to be cut up at all. This is going to be one continuous video, and I'm just going to show you what I did to get my stream working. Okay, I'm going to just change scenes here quickly. Okay, so first thing you want to do, okay, you want to download a program called Twitch Test over here. As you can see in the top left corner over here, I'll leave a link for this. And then you also want to download a program called TCP Optimizer. I'll also leave a link for that, okay? So what you want to do is, once you've downloaded this, you want to run this program, okay? What you want to do, you make sure your TCP window side is set to OBS. You're going to put your stream key over here. So there's a little link to help you get your stream key if you don't know how to do that. That's pretty basic, guys. You should know how to do that.
Sure.
Uncheck all these boxes over here, and then you're gonna say start. Okay. Now you're gonna start running your stream test, and it's gonna basically show you all the EU servers. When you stream from South Africa, you're probably gonna want to stream to the EU servers. They're probably the best. And you're gonna start seeing the speeds here that you're gonna get, and it's gonna give you a stream quality. So it'll show you how it's going. It starts low, and then it goes up, or like you see, it's 10,000 plus kilobits, and it's gonna give you a quality rating of like 95, 80, whatever. What you'll probably find, before I made the settings that I'm gonna show you in this video, I was getting like 2-3K upload speeds to Twitch. It was really terrible. Again, I couldn't understand it. I was trying every single type of streaming program. It didn't work at all. Okay, so then played around with some settings, and I got the speeds that you guys
I wonder
see.
what would
So I'm not
happen
gonna
if
let all
I
of-
did that now. Let's quickly install this and see, shall we? So let's go Twitch test. Let's install this quickly. Oh, where's the install button? It's always a fucking problem, right? Here we go. Oh, for the love of fuck. Wait, really? So Gimme, take care of yourself. Where is the download button for this? Here we go. Okay, that should be fine. Where the hell did it extract to? Here we go. Over here. Alright, let me quickly get my stream key out. You guys can't see, fuck you. Otherwise you're gonna stream to my stream, and that's gonna be shit. I don't want you to stream to my stream.